guys ready?
So
Don't worry about it.
move around.
I like your framing. It's
Jody.
perfect. Stay there.
Okay.
Oh,
We're ready.
hold on. Don't move around too much, like shake your bodies, because
I can't jiggle? That's a problem.
will result in closing
might
noise,
need to
especially
shimmy.
Jody. Yeah.
You guys ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Let's wait for that.
Here we are, Mind, Body, Casa. Jody Watley, take one.
Oh, I have goosebumps all of a sudden because you have to understand. Here at Mind Body Casa, there are some godmothers. We call them chicks with sass. And here is one right here, Miss Jody Watley. You know how crazy I am for you. You were absolutely the model for my life when I was growing up in this house and saw you. She had that down with some combat boots and red lips and some big hair, and I was like,
Yes.
who is that? And
Thank
you never stopped.
Thank you. Yeah, I've loved music and dancing and style and fashion and all of that since I was a little girl. So thank you.
I love the fact that your life was sort of destined, because I was the same way. I love music and dance, but it seems like the universe worked out in your favor. Your parents happened to move to LA. You happened to get down with Soul Train. Tell me about how that destiny worked in your favor.
I think that's very true. I'm from Chicago originally, and my dad was a minister, but he was also a radio disc jockey.
Interesting.
And I didn't know at the time that he and Don Cornelius were on the radio. My dad did gospel. Don Cornelius did the news on an AM station, WVEE, I believe. And when Soul Train started to become popular when I was still living in the Midwest, teenager, I thought, everybody loved Soul Train. It's like, I want to be on that show, Not knowing that, as fate would have it, my dad would lose his church, radio show, everything. And how we came to Los Angeles in a station wagon, homeless. My dad was trying to get his life back on track, and that's actually how we came to be in Los Angeles. A lot of ministers or churches said, he could preach at their church, and none of that ended up to be true. And it was an early lesson for me about how people can be, how supportive they are when you have everything, and how flaky they can be.
Sounds like Hollywood, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, so it started then. For me coming to Los Angeles, my personal goal, again, was to get on Soul Train. And I was very determined. I was always the kind of kid that was looking to do and be something.
Aquarius girl. We don't play from a little young age.
Yeah.
I was 3 in dance class, looked at Debbie Allen, I'm like, I'm gonna be a professional dancer by 30, because that seemed really old at the time.
Yeah.
At the time. And made it happen.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, putting it out in the universe and making it manifest.
Always. I entered myself in Miss Black Teenage Illinois. I sent my picture in to Right On magazine, which was the popular black teen magazine at the time to be Miss Right On.
Did you get it?
I didn't, but my picture was in the magazine.
Nice.
I think I was maybe 12.
Wow.
Always drawing and sketching, and would have my name. I'm going to have my own business. I'm going to be a designer. I'm going to sing. Or my mom told me when I was 4, I said, do you know I'm going to have my own modeling school at 4? So, I think that the universe, when you are trying and really putting it out there, things happened. And with the determination, and how I came to Soul Train was, I actually met Tyrone Proctor, who was a huge dancer on the show at the time, original Soul Train dancer. I saw him driving with my mom. I said,
Randomly?
Randomly. That's Tyrone Proctor. Stop the car, stop the car, stop the car. And he thought I was a crazy person. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you, big fan. And, how can I get on Soul Train? And he was kind of vague about it.
Well, of course. He's not trying to share.
And so he said, well, give me a number, I'll call you. He's from, Philadelphia, so in that accent.
Right.
Never happened. As fate would have it, I met a boy in church, and I think it was like a midnight service, New Year's Eve or something. And he came up to me, and at this point I'd been trying to get on Soul Train for maybe 6 months. you have a really cool look, very respectful guy. Would you be interested in going on Soul Train?
I know you were like, oh, it was like that moment,
And,
that
yeah,
feeling in
I'm
that
like,
moment
yes.
is electric.
Yeah, so I'm like, are you kidding? And I'll never forget, I had on a black French beret and a vintage black dress and my mom's heels, and I was just thinking I was fabulous. And so that is the first time, and so it was definitely the universe. Once I knew where it was and where it taped, I would go up there every month because his partner was out of town that one, so it was like a one-time deal. So it was on. It's like, I know where it is. I know which weekend they tape.
Did you have to take
So
the bus there?
I'd take the bus, and I would go. I would try to sneak in a couple times. You know, I would
Just
make
show 'em
my
your
way
moves.
in. Just like, you know, in the movie line where, you know, you just kind of, you know, hope they don't notice that you're easy. So I would be that. And then security would say, hey, you're not on the list. What's your name? And then I'd get tossed out,
No
take the bus back
way.
home crying. Next month I'd be back again. So eventually, the longer I would stay on the floor blending in, but trying to stand out, Don Cornelius noticed me, and so that was my beginning of Soul Train.
It's
And
that
he
light.
said, I want you to be on this show. And so
You know that you were exuding that light and you were spreading your energy through that room. I know what it feels like to, because I was on Party Machine, not quite Soul Train, but I was going to get on Party
Yeah, I
Machine,
remember
right?
that.
And so you're doing your thing, like everybody look at me, but not doing it too much, and
Yes.
people notice you.
yeah.